One of Prince William and Catherine's most trusted confidants, Jason Knauf, has broken his silence on the controversy surrounding Meghan Markle's alleged bullying of palace staff. This explosive interview on 60 Minutes Australia marks Knauf's first public comment about the incident that sent shockwaves through the monarchy. Hello and welcome, I'm Cameron Walker and you're watching GBN Royal. Now Jason, who served as Communications Secretary for the Prince and Princess of Wales and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, has finally addressed the intense scrutiny he faced after an internal email he wrote about Meghan was revealed in court documents. This, which happened in 2021, thrust Knauf into the spotlight and ignited a firestorm of speculation and debate that continues to this day. Let's rewind to 2018 when Knauf sent that fateful internal email raising concerns about Meghan's alleged treatment of palace staff. Fast forward to 2021 and this private communication suddenly became very public, just as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex were preparing to air their grievances on international television with Oprah Winfrey. The timing, as they say, couldn't have been more explosive. Now Meghan, who's 43, vehemently denies these allegations and her lawyers describes them as a calculated smear campaign based on misleading and harmful misinformation. But the damage was done and Buckingham Palace was forced to launch an internal review into the bullying claims. Interestingly, the findings of this review were never made public, leaving many to wonder what truths may lie behind palace walls. Now, Knauf has chosen to speak out, and his words are nothing short of riveting. When asked about the media attention on him, Knauf maintained a, let's say, philosophical outlook. He told 60 Minutes Australia, "I think it's tough, but it's probably quite good. You know, someone who has been helping other people through how to deal with the public eye, you probably had to take your own medicine sometimes." Now, this measured response from Jason is particularly noteworthy given the intense scrutiny he faced. It's a testament to his professionalism and perhaps an indication of the discretion expected from those who work closely with the royal family. And on that theme, I suspect Jason wouldn't have spoken out without Prince William's express permission. But the drama didn't end there, because in 2021, Knauf found himself embroiled in Meghan's legal battle with the Mail on Sunday, as previously mentioned, regarding the private letter to her father. During the case, Knauf's private emails and messages suggesting Meghan was aware the letter could be leaked led to her apology to the court for unintentionally misleading it. This turn of events added another layer of complexity to an already intricate situation. When asked if he would do anything differently, Knauf was resolute. "No, it's not what I would have sought, but you know, at the end of the day, you get to do an amazing job. You've got to take everything that comes with it." Despite the controversy, Jason spoke warmly of his time working for the Prince and Princess of Wales and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. He said, "I worked really closely with both brothers and we had lots of great times." After he stood down as Communications Secretary, he became Chief Executive of Prince William and Catherine's Royal Foundation, helping to launch Prince William's Earthshot Prize. Now, Jason revealed more about the turbulent time last year when Prince William's wife and father were both diagnosed with cancer. He told 60 Minutes Australia, "Within a couple of weeks, if you're Prince William, you find out both your wife and your father have cancer. I couldn't believe it." He described a phone call he had with William about Catherine's diagnosis. He said, "It was awful, absolutely awful. It's the lowest I've ever seen him." But the problem was that all this crazy conspiracy theory stuff kicked off in the background online. Was she really ill? But they didn't want to say yet that she had cancer because they hadn't told the children, and they were still working through how to tell the children. Now, Mr. Knauf said what he used to talk about the most in the past with Prince William when he worked for him was how he and the princess were going to prepare their children for life in the public eye. He added Prince William's childhood in front of the media was quite difficult at times, and he knew that he was going to be raising his kids to deal with social media and mobile phones and all of that stuff. Now let's break all of that down, because we know Prince William had quite a challenging childhood growing up in the public eye and had a lot of media exposure early on. Many photo calls, even on private family ski holidays, were scheduled, and he was persuaded to bravely walk behind his mother's coffin through the streets of London in front of millions after she was killed in a car crash in 1997. When he became a father himself, he made a conscious decision to shield his children from most of what he experienced growing up. Photographs of them have been published at key milestones, including birthdays, and Prince George, Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis have all appeared in public during major royal events. But that's pretty much it. Their private time is strictly off limits. But as George, Charlotte and Louis grow up, they will be the first generation of the royal family navigating the perils of social media. Prince William and Harry could privately let their hair down in exclusive London nightclubs in their late teens and early 20s, but smartphones and social media didn't exist back then. What's to stop somebody uploading videos of George, Charlotte or Louis during their private time and uploading it to TikTok or another social media site? What's to stop that from going viral? The palace and the traditional media, particularly British print and broadcast, have a respectable understanding, but they cannot control social media, which is increasingly becoming the Wild West. Prince Harry, when he was in his late 20s, was photographed naked in a Las Vegas hotel room, which was then sold to the tabloids. That was perhaps an early example of the perils of camera phones. Jason Knauf's interview, considering he's still a trusted confidant of Prince William, was unexpected. And as I said, I suspect he would not have spoken out without Prince William's permission. But Kensington Palace have remained silent. I'm Cameron Walker. Don't forget to subscribe to GBM Royal for the latest royal updates.
Jason Knauf, is that how you pronounce it?
Knauf.
Knauf? No. That's Knauf. Hey, well, he spoke to the Australian network 9 Now. Let's take a listen.
And was keeping a close eye on the couple's public image. Behind the scenes, a storm was brewing. Just a few months after he joined them on this trip to Ireland in 2018, their first as husband and wife, Jason raised concerns the Duchess was upsetting junior staff.
I am very concerned that the Duchess was able to bully 2 PAs out of the household in the past year. We have had report after report from people who have witnessed unacceptable behavior.
Right, well, there you go. Shall we speak to GB News royal correspondent Cameron Walker, who's with us here? Cameron, how significant is this intervention then?
Well, incredibly. Jason is a very trusted aide of Prince William, but also used to be Harry and Meghan's trusted aide as well. And I suspect he would not have spoken on camera to the media unless he had Prince William's express permission to do so. He was asked on several topics. The whole point of the documentary on 60 Minutes Australia was looking ahead to the kind of king that Prince William would be. But inevitably, Jason was asked about Harry and Meghan because he was at the centre of the storm when it was, on the surface, the so-called Fab Four, William, Catherine, Harry and Meghan. But of course, below, we know all of these problems were going on, including these very serious bullying allegations against Meghan Markle, allegedly bullying 2 junior members of staff out of the royal household, something both Meghan and her lawyers have always denied. But of course, we have this letter, which was aired in open court when Meghan was suing the Mail on Sunday for a separate issue, that said, from Jason to Prince William's private secretary, I'm concerned that Meghan managed to bully 2 members of staff out of the royal household. So it was there in black and white. He essentially told the journalists in Australia that it's very sad that Harry and William's relationship has got to the stage that it's in. I understand that they're not on speaking terms and haven't been for a number of years. Every time you mention the Duke of Sussex to Prince William's team, the barriers go up. They don't want to, talk about it. But he does say that Prince William has chosen to keep a dignified silence, and therefore I'm going to as well, which again suggests that Jason...
Hey everyone, welcome back to Royal Sussex Squad, your go-to source for truth and fairness when it comes to Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The media smear machine is at it again, but we're here to set the record straight. Make sure to subscribe and hit that super thanks button to support independent voices that refuse to bow to the biased royal agenda. And once again, the British media is trying to drag Meghan Markle's name through the mud. This time, former royal aide Jason Knauf has resurfaced, making waves with his comments in a 60 Minutes Australia interview. Knauf, who once worked as a communications secretary for both the Sussexes and the Waleses, played a key role in the so-called bullying allegations against Meghan. But let's break this down, because the truth is being twisted yet again. Back in 2018, Knauf reportedly sent an internal email claiming Meghan mistreated staff. Fast forward to 2021, and suddenly this email leaked right before Harry and Meghan's tell-all Oprah interview. Convenient timing, don't you think? The palace launched an internal investigation, but guess what? The findings were never made public. Now, why would they bury the results unless they contradicted the narrative they were pushing? Let's be crystal clear. Meghan has always denied these allegations, and her legal team has described them as a deliberate smear campaign. If the palace had any actual evidence against Meghan, they would have released it. Instead, they kept the results hidden, protecting the real instigators of workplace toxicity. Because let's not forget, palace insiders have a long history of undermining and briefing against those they see as a threat. Let's also talk about how the palace reacted when Lady Susan Hussey was exposed for racially insensitive comments toward Ngozi Fulani. Within hours, Buckingham Palace issued an apology and arranged a meeting between Hussey and Fulani. But when it came to Meghan, a biracial woman who actually experienced racism within the institution, the royal family remained silent. The double standards are glaring. Now, Jason Knauf's recent comments on 60 Minutes Australia make one thing clear. He is still deeply loyal to Prince William. He wouldn't have spoken publicly without William's approval. Knauf even went on to praise his former boss, saying how amazing it was to work with him. Meanwhile, he conveniently glossed over the fact that he once handed over private emails and messages in Meghan's legal battle against the Mail on Sunday. This is the same man who played both sides, positioning himself as a trusted royal aide while working against Meghan behind the scenes, and yet the British press still treats him as a credible source. The hypocrisy is mind-blowing. Harry and Meghan have been proving their critics wrong time and time again. Their Netflix projects have been successful, their philanthropy is making a real impact, and the Sussex name carries global respect. Meanwhile, the British tabloids are stuck recycling old attacks because they have nothing new to weaponize. They're desperate. The real issue isn't Meghan's supposed behavior, it's the fact that she and Harry refuse to be controlled. They refuse to play by the outdated, toxic royal playbook. And for that, the palace and their media puppets will stop at nothing to discredit them. So what can we do? We keep supporting Harry and Meghan. We keep calling out the lies. We keep amplifying the truth. If you're tired of the biased royal narratives and want real, independent coverage, make sure to subscribe to Royal Sussex Squad and drop a super thanks to help us keep exposing the truth. Harry and Meghan are thriving, and nothing the haters do will change that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.